Hello and welcome to the Kayden Show, today's best country mix. And joining us today is Anton Starkman. Anton, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great today. Thank you for asking. So kind of tell us a little bit about yourself to get started.
Well, I am born and raised in LA. I love photography and art and music, and I am currently on a Nickelodeon show called Warped. Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
That's awesome. And when did you start acting?
I started acting when I was about 5. I actually started with my two brothers, Wyatt and Landon, and then slowly throughout the years they kind of transitioned into making music, and then I kept acting because I found a love for it.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I read a little bit about that, your two brothers. So I think that's awesome that you guys kind of jumped into it together, but then they kind of went off and did their own thing.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's cool that we all my middle brother Landon loves to do like musical theater and that, and then my eldest brother does like actual producing music and writing and whatever, and then I do act. So we all kind of like do different areas of the entertainment industry, which is really cool.
Yes, different parts of it. That's awesome. That's really cool. So is there something in particular that you love about acting, Anton?
Particularly I love the opportunity to become someone else. Like playing Milo on Warped is really cool because he's very similar to me, but I get to be someone who I'm not normally, which is just kind of like a fun escape from the world, and just like I like bringing myself into someone's writing, which is really cool.
That's cool. And the fact that you got to character Milo and how I see it in the show, I think it's really cool that you work with Ruby, and just kind of the whole thing pieced together really wonderfully. So I have to say, great job to you, first and foremost.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's definitely, I've really lucked out with the cast because everyone on that show is absolutely incredible.
I agree. So what other things have you been in regards to acting?
I've been in a few things. A couple years ago I was in American Horror Story, which is a very different show than Warped. I've also done Once Upon a Time. I was in the Netflix show You. All amazing productions that were absolutely like a great opportunity for me to be a part of.
That's really cool. Do you have a favorite that you liked doing the best?
Aside from Warped, because it's currently the greatest thing that I've ever done, I think I think Once Upon a Time was really fun because I got to play like part of like a fairy tale world, like a fantasy thing, and I think that was really cool. And I think I would say that's probably one of my favorites for sure.
Do you have a favorite movie or television show that you have not been in?
Ooh, that's a good question. I watch a lot of TV. Probably too much.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question. I think the show I just recently, I mean, there's a bunch of classic shows like How I Met Your Mother, Friends, all classic like sitcom shows, but I think more of like a serious show that I've always loved was Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch. This is a really interesting show. I just recently binged it, and it's really good.
I feel like I've heard of it. I have not seen it yet, though.
It's a Sherlock Holmes story, and it's really good.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
So, Anton, if someone was to make a movie directly about you, what do you think it would be about?
It's a great question. I think if I had to pick all the interesting parts about my life, I think it would be, obviously acting would be a huge part of it, because it's been who I am since I was 5. I think what someone would take from my life is kind of just how I've become the person I am right now. Like all of the people that have been in my life, like my mom, my friends, my family, have all I think the story of how everyone in my life contributes to where I am, what I'm doing, who I am as a person. I think just like my interests of just like fashion and music and all of that. I think
Are you thinking kind of like a reality show just based off of you? Is that what you're thinking?
I think that's what I think of.
Yeah.
What it would be like. I don't think I have a crazy enough story to make a movie about,
Yeah.
But I think I've done cool enough stuff that the show would be interesting.
Yeah. And what you could do too is take different parts of like Warped and stuff and include that in there too. Just saying.
Absolutely. For sure.
Like different things with the comic books and all that. So
yeah, I actually love comic books in real life, like superheroes and all that. I'll just spend hours like researching a character that I just find interesting. So being a part of Warped is a truly amazing opportunity.
So for people who have not seen Warped yet, which I think they should, what do you have to say about the show to them?
I would say that it's a fun, wild ride. I think a buddy comedy of like different personalities playing together is always an entertaining show. And I think the four of us, Kate, Chris, Ariana, and me, I think we all play well with each other, and I think it's a great show about friendship and kind of there's a lot of adventures of like something going wrong, like Milo and Ruby having to fix it. I think it's just entertaining. It's a fun watch.
I have to 1000% agree. I think the dynamic between you four is super important.
Yeah, I mean, the minute we met each other, it was like we just like clicked. We all became like best friends. It's funny because we started filming in 2020, December 2020,
during COVID.
Like, during COVID, so it was very much locked down. But we like met each other on Zoom, and every day of filming the pilot, we ate lunch on Zoom together. So we all just kind of like chatted, got to know each other, and it made us all the better. And I think that portrayed well on the screen of like us. I think it transferred well of us being real friends into like our characters being friends. I think that it did well.
I think it was a smooth transition, and the fact that you got to do that despite the pandemic that we were in is great.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely persevered through that.
Yeah. Which is good. I'm glad that you guys were able to do that because for some people it was hard. So
yeah.
So what advice would you give someone who wants to kind of get into acting?
I would think I'd say representation is important of like finding like an agent or a manager. That's like an industry tip that I would say of like
I know what you meant.
When it comes to just like actually being an actor, I think something that's important is finding parts of yourself in the writing of it, and then trying your best to truly bring that to life while still being real. I think is something that I'm still trying to figure out with my own acting for sure.
For sure. So Anton, do you have any upcoming projects that we can look forward to?
I have to say not other than Warped. I'm still going on Warped. The season finale is actually tomorrow. It's I don't know what the date is. March 31st.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it.
Yeah, and I'm just looking forward to that. Hope to continue.
That's awesome, and hopefully you guys get a season 2.
Knock on wood. Yeah.
Yeah. That's very, very true. So if people want to follow you on social media, where can they find you, Anton?
I'm on everything. Instagram, TikTok, everything, all under Anton Starkman. Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, even though I have not used Facebook for years. Yeah. All under the same name.
If you could choose one person that you can act with that you have or have not acted with, who would you choose and why?
Oh, that is a really good question. Someone I've recently was Andrew Garfield. I've obviously never gotten the chance to work with him, but after seeing Tick Tick Boom, obviously Spider-Man, I think he's just an incredible actor, and I mean I mean, proven to be like insanely wide range, and I would
Mhm.
really love to work with him at some point.
That would be awesome. And is there any other thing that you would be doing right now besides acting, do you think? Is there something that you would be doing if like acting wasn't around or anything like that, Anton?
Yeah, I'm actually halfway through getting my degree in psychology,
Oh,
which is something
okay.
which is something I don't I haven't actually like talked about as much as I should or could. But yeah, I'm taking classes to get my degree as a psychology major, which is really exciting.
Very exciting. How's that going for you so far?
It's going great. I love it. I've had to take a few like philosophy courses and
Hmm.
cognitive psychology, which is all very fascinating. I've always loved, I mean, maybe it's because I'm an actor and I I
Hmm.
pretend to be someone else for a living, but I think the way the brain operates is
Hmm.
really fascinating. So I love
Where
learning
do
more.
you where do you see your career in 5 years as an actor?
As an actor, I would love to be doing something that um I'm maybe like a passion project of like something that like of like my creation. I've
Hmm.
also really been open to the idea of directing or writing or something like
Hmm.
that, of like being, or maybe like being a part of something that I can also direct or influence some way.
Hmm. Do you have a message that you would like to give your fans or anyone watching or listening to this?
I My message would just really be, try to do whatever you can to make yourself happy in the
Hmm.
weird time that it is in the world right now. It's definitely hard to find like hobbies and interests and whatever, but anything you can find that truly makes you happy, I say go for it with all your heart.
I agree. I definitely agree. That's important to remember. Yeah, you're important. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Hmm. Anton, is there anything else that I forgot that you'd like to share before we go?
No, I think we covered it all. I think it's important to watch the season finale of Warped, March 31st at 7 Pacific Standard Time, and yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, I
Stacey,
would like to thank Anton Starkman for joining us right here on the King Orange Show, today's Best Country Mix. Thank you so much for taking your time out of the day to come on.
thank you so much for having me. It was great.